You guys don't want me all tired and stuff, trying to give y'all a good reading. So that'll be tomorrow. But today, I noticed, and I was just taking note of, there's a lot of female rappers who are cancers. And I thought that was pretty cool. I didn't really recognize it until I started seeing a lot of happy birthdays, to those particular rappers. So I always knew about Little Kim. That was like a no brainer. I knew she was a Cancer. Missy Elliott, I thought she was a Pisces, but she's not. She's actually a Cancer. Um, I think what's that girl's name? Sweetie. The one who thinks she's from the Bay, but she's not. She's from Sacramento. Sweetie, she's a Cancer. I think MIA is a Cancer. So there's a whole bunch of female rappers who are Cancers. So I thought that was really dope. And especially when you consider the Cancer, what it represents. The archetype of Cancer is the mother figure, and no matter if you have children or not, you can still exude, whether you're a female or not, you can still exude the motherly nature of being nurturing, being caring, taking care of those who are the most vulnerable of our community, which would be the children as well as the elders. A lot of mothers don't get enough credit for taking care of the elders in the community, their elderly parents, other people's parents. I've seen so many women just step up to the plate and take care of those who really needed it, whether they're children or the elders. So and other stuff too that goes in with the Cancer archetype. It rules over the fourth house. It deals with the home. It deals with the comforts of home, or what makes you comfortable in life, which most people usually associate with their upbringing, their home. It deals with your ancestry, right? It deals with your heritage. And it's a really powerful house in your chart, but it's also extremely intuitive and very tapped in when it comes to just the nature of spirituality. All the water signs are extremely spiritual in that sense, extremely intuitive, extremely psychic, extremely, cognitive when it comes to emotional intelligence. But Cancer takes the cake, especially when you're operating in your light side as opposed to your shadow side, right? When you're operating in your shadow side, it's more so manipulation, emotional manipulation in particular, moody, all over the place, the crybaby stereotype, all those types of things. But when you're operating on the light side, it's extremely powerful mother energy that comes through, a Yemonya type of energy that comes through. When I think of Cancer, I think of Thames. I know she doesn't really like the comparisons to anything African spirituality because she is a Christian, and that's totally fine. But I can't help it. When I see her, when I hear her music, when I get her feeling, the flow from her, I feel very oceanic. I feel very Yemoya. And that's very powerful. Okay? So blue might be an extremely important or significant color coming through for you. Blue, green, just the deepness of the ocean. When you're on the lighter side, the more happy, fun side, it's like more of the Caribbean ocean parts where it's lighter, you could see straight to the bottom, really, really beautiful and light. But when it gets really deep, when it gets very, very emotional, when it's powerful emotions that take over, what do you think of as far as the ocean goes? You usually think of the more like midnight blue, dark, parts of the oceans, the parts where you can't see, all the way to the bottom. There's no way possible you could see all the way to the bottom. It goes too deep. Also the things that come through, hurricanes, usually start up in the ocean and then they move right towards land. And I got 80. These are my numerology cards, by the way. So I got 80. Basically a stronger, powerful exemption of 8, and that is the number of heritage. It's the number of karma. It's the number of retribution, consequences, and the like. Right behind it, we have the 666, which is the number of man, of humanity, carbon, and then 414. And I wrote rebirth of consciousness, breaks and separations necessary for growth, old habits left behind. Every day someone dies, and every day someone is born. Depart and go. So whatever that means for you, maybe a time of transmutation where you're changing energy that may be negative energy, let's say for example, and you're transmuting it into something powerful for you to be able to use for your good. Definitely a changing in your mindset. Definitely um, the the necessity of certain separations in life need to happen in order for growth to take place. So there may be a friend that you're walking away from or moving away from that you realize there's no hurt feelings. It's just you realize that this is the time where we grow apart. You're growing in that direction. I'm growing in this direction, and there's still love there. But for the best of us, you know, for the best of us, the both of us, it's best that we move forward. And when I split the deck 35, which if you add that together, it's 8. And it says strength, preparedness, inheritance, business, recognition, 9 of Wands, Sagittarius, independence, and discipline. And I'm reading this on Independence Day, American Independence Day, July 4th. So just, you know, steadfast, right? Steadfast, making sure that whatever you decide, you move through with that. You stand on business, okay? You have the strength to do this, and you're being prepared. You either already have been prepared for this moment, or you're being prepared in this moment to move into a certain direction. There may be a business venture that you really need to take a note of and be conscious of, and you may be receiving recognition for great work done. So just continue on, continue on, continue on. Something to do with the Sagittarius, definitely something to do with the Capricorn or Cancer in this energy. Just have that discipline with you. It could have been an inheritance, either received, will be received, or maybe it was taken from you, or somebody did something underhanded to go under, you know, behind your back and get it from you. Whatever it is, remember that the inheritance that you receive from your ancestors, from the Most High, no one can take away from you. It's like a Joseph type of energy. Joseph in the Bible, you know, he inherited the gifts of sight, of vision, of prophecy, of being able to interpret dreams. And no matter how much hate he received from his brothers, from whoever in his world, and they were some haters, you know, they were trying to get rid of him. They sold him to slavery, thinking that, you know, oh, he's gone, we don't have to deal with him ever again. And in reality, they didn't even realize that they were helping to push Joseph forward to do what he was called to do. What his mission, his sole mission was to be put in a place, a high place, in order to make sure that his family and all of the generations that would come from that family would be safe and secure. And if you know his story, then you already know that he went through a lot while he was in bondage, and he ended up in Egypt. He ended up being accused of grape, you know, all these things, and then he was put in jail. All this stuff was happening to him. It was bad. It was really, really bad. And then the one moment where he was able to use his gift of interpreting dreams helped him, long story short, to put him in a position in which he was basically right underneath the Pharaoh. And because of that position that he was placed in, he was able to make, when his family finally found where he was and where he was at, long story short, he basically put them up in a position to be saved.